We did get the opportunity yesterday to go out to practice, and it was a fruitful practice. Yes, useful indeed. That was as good a practice as they've had, I dare say, in a number of years of the ones that we can watch, of the practices. Now, again, we don't get to see everything all the time. But as we've noted several times over, this coaching staff, Mike Norvell, is an open book. They do a great job of allowing access to the press. So we've seen a lot. And I got to tell you, the more I kind of let that marinate yesterday, Tom, and the more I thought about what we witnessed, the more I was encouraged because there were things being executed by a lot of people, not just a guy here or there. A lot of times you'll get a guy, have a great day, or even a segment group occasionally where you say, that was a good day for the linebackers. That was a good day for the offensive line, whatever it might be. It is seldom that we have seen a practice in the last handful of years where we walked away and thought, man, that was crisp. Everything seemed to function as it should. It was. And it's not that they're not organized. They're organized. It's just that they haven't had the level of proficiency and talent and depth of talent that would allow for sustained success for repeated drives or actions, right? Whether they were situational or otherwise. If, a lot of times the second you went to the backup, the thing got derailed. The second team came in and third team came in, it got derailed. Yesterday was a case, especially as it pertains to the offense, in which sustainable drives, execution of throws, route running, catching, protection, running the football, red zone execution. I mean, so many things came together consistently for long periods of time that you couldn't help but be emboldened by what you witnessed. I would think even the harshest, most adamant or fervent detractor of this team for the upcoming season or its talent or coaches would have had to admit yesterday that they looked like a well-oiled machine. Just a tremendous pre-scrimmage practice on a Thursday, and we were lucky enough to be there, report on it, post-practice updates, myself and Ira. Corey wrote a column. You guys can read all of that on warchant.com. You can watch it on Warchant TV and warchant.com. It was a good day at the office for the players, the coaches, the press that were there to cover it. Everybody involved had to be very, very pleased. I can't sing the praises enough of what they looked like yesterday.
Yeah, the way it finished was, with a bang. That's what had everybody walking outside the facility towards the, press area, the press conference area going, whoa, what the hell did I just watch? Because when they went full team, one of the final things they do, it's not the final thing, but we're ushered out shortly thereafter. It's do or die. It's here's your situation. You're pinned back. You got to go score a touchdown to win the game or maybe kick a field goal. Depends on the situation in the day. And Jordan Travis hits Pokey Wilson on a throw outside the numbers, which
that's his throw.
If there's like a 3 foot or 5 foot wide target between the numbers and, the boundary, Jordan makes it look like it's 30 yards. I mean, he really has touch in that specific area of the field.
That specific area of the field, he can drop it in a bucket. It's his best throw. It's the throw he makes most consistently well, to the point where I almost, and this is my fault, Tom, I almost don't really give him a lot of credit because I'm like, oh, I know you can make that throw. I need you to make the other throws. Well, you always make that throw. That gets taken away because everybody knows you can make that throw. Make these other throws so that will open back up.
What's interesting about that particular throw, and some like it during this spring camp, is it's not wheel routes to running backs. It's actually to receivers, which I think is worth noting. Like true receivers on the line of scrimmage, winning a battle at the snap, getting the separation, getting down the field. A lot of those throws that you saw last year were to a player like Ja'Kai Douglas,
right, on a wheel,
where you isolate him on a safety or a linebacker, and then you get a rub, and that frees up the matchup, right? It's not that the player himself generated the space; it's that the scheme generated the space.
I'm seeing against more Miami, big play, obviously against Notre Dame. You can go back, yeah.
I'm seeing more of the players generating the space this camp, which is good. That's a good sign. But that's the first throw. The second throw is a little comebacker to Toafili, and then the third throw is a perfect dime up the sideline to McClain, touchdown. Thanks for playing. And Tate, to that point, really had a better day between the two quarterbacks. But that response from Jordan to finish the day was, holy crap, good.
It was needed because this would have marked the second consecutive practice by all accounts. I was at this one yesterday. I was not at the previous one, but I have spoken to all of you guys about it. This would have marked the second consecutive practice in which I think we could say, as a thrower, Tate Rodemaker had been the better quarterback in back-to-back practices. And that's good news for Tate. It's also the kind of thing that if you're a Florida State fan, you go, okay, nice, good to hear. Well, we'll see if he can do it in the game. Got it. I understand. But it beats the hell out of the alternative, him looking lost, confused in year 3, right? I mean, you'd want him to look good. At least he's given himself the opportunity to perhaps get this to translate when the lights come on. And they need that backup quarterback to be somebody they can plug and play and not automatically lose the game if Jordan misses time. So that's good news. But Jordan's response is not only encouraging, but I think in a weird way, it's a response to how well Tate's played. Jordan knows, look, it's my job, but the other guys, I mean, you're not blind. As a competitor, you know when somebody's outperformed you. I don't know, there's no good analogy here, but like, you know, you're a good golfer. I'm not.
Yeah, but if I outperformed in high school, say the 2 or the 3 on the team, I was always a borderline bench guy. You know, I was on a very good high school team, one district. But if I shot a good number in practice 2 days in a row and say the 3 player didn't, well, coach might think about starting me.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. At some
just
point,
for this next event.
Like, what's going on?
Right.
If you and I mean, we're dear friends. If you and I go out and play, if I beat you 2 times in a row, which has never happened, I've only beaten you once that I can think of. But if it happens to where if I did,
that lip out still hurts on mine.
But if it did happen, I'm not saying that you'd be mad at me. You'd be mad at yourself, and you'd be like, okay, well, this has got to stop because you're a competitor. You'd be like, this got to stop. This should not be happening. Like, you'd be frustrated, you know. Whereas if somebody, you know, the point is, it would get your attention. You wouldn't suddenly say Jeff's better than me, but he has beaten me 2 times in a row. That's got to stop. So Jordan's out here the last couple of practices, is my point, watching Tate fill it up.
Yeah.
Really make throw after throw after throw. He's not worried about losing his job, but he's a competitor.
Right.
He is looking around like, okay, I better start stepping up the game here.
Yeah, I hope that the reports from the scrimmage, and I see that Swiss asked it in the chat. It is closed tomorrow.
It is closed, completely closed. No chance for us to watch.
It starts 8:30 or 9 or so.
Although I'm sneaky deaky.
I hear they're going to have the whole building on lockdown, even for fans or boosters or whatever. But we get availability from the coaching staff at lunchtime, 12:15, 12:30, somewhere in there. But the thing about Tate, where I hope that the reports come in from the scrimmage that are positive, even in the interview yesterday, he looks like a different guy. There is no weight on his shoulders. And you can see that around anybody in life. Yeah, if they've got stressors in life or in work or finances, whatever it is, you can see the weight of the world on somebody's shoulders. And you could tell the difference when they don't feel it. And Tate looks like he is a believer in himself, which is really, really important.
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, he handles that part of it really well these days. Obviously, he's pretty laid back, and he doesn't have a lot of pressure on him. I mean, he really ought not be that overly concerned. I mean, if I'm him, if you're the backup, the pressure's on the starter. Now, you need to be prepared as if you're going to be the starter. You need to prepare yourself like you're going to have an opportunity because you know the game of football, you're one play away. And I hope he's doing that. But in truth, I mean, he ought to feel comfortable. He said as much. He's like, I better feel comfortable. I ought to be. It's year 3. Exactly right, Tate. Well, you ought to be.
The other thing, I was talking with Ira today about this, and last year, if Mackenzie and Jordan were both present for practice, which wasn't always a routine thing.
Yeah.
You know, if you're behind the third string offensive line every day in practice, at Florida State, the way it is right now, against a defensive line that's been deep, especially the interior of it at Florida State. I mean, what kind of reps are you getting? What kind of fortification for your confidence are you really getting? And that's where, in this instance, maybe this camp, where we like maybe 7 or 8 players on the offensive line. You think that's fair? We like 7 or 8. Like, it's not a total disaster if one of the 5 goes down. Well, what does that mean? That means the 2s are fairly solid. Doesn't mean they're great, but they're solid enough that you can run some live reps with them. And that's what Tate's behind this year.
I want him to get as many reps with that starting group as possible. I mean, considering what's reasonable when he's the backup. I mean, you're going to give the starters reps. I get it, but I want him to get accustomed to that because his chance for succeeding obviously greatly improves when he's got more weapons and better protection. And yeah, that is a way to have your confidence bolstered because those are the guys that you'd be playing with if you got into a game. And so that is the hope. Hey, so let's just pivot for a second from quarterbacks because both played well. Jordan came on late in response, is the way I describe it, to Tate's really solid practice.
Norvell will be proud of you for saying the response.
Yeah, I mean,
response.
Well, I mean, I think it was. I think, he dropped a couple in the bucket there and got on a roll and then began to feel confident and started making really nice throws. He's had listen, I don't want anybody to take from this the wrong impression. He's had a good camp. It hasn't been that he's bad or anything like that. It's just that we're very emboldened and excited by what you're seeing from Rodemaker right now, which is, this was the answer the call or we're moving on, and that's all there is to it type thing. And he's done a good job with that so far. We'll see how scrimmage numbers go. I'm going to be very curious to see what Mike Norvell has to say about what he witnesses in this scrimmage, because he is pretty good, I believe, at giving you a pretty decent and thorough indication of what he liked, what he didn't like, and everything in between in these practices that we can't see. I get the sense that he understands. I mean, we're going to be right back out there watching the other practices. He knows he can't come on there and tell everybody that so-and-so's playing great if they're not, because that's not sustainable. And we'll just turn around and be like, well, we haven't seen it. That he knows that. So I'll be curious. So after seeing several practices of spring camp, do either of you want to shift your projections for W's and L's? Great stuff, guys. Go Noles. No, I'm not prepared to do that. I mean, I think if they play well and the guys that we predicted would take a step forward, either as veteran players or the position groups that were improved by transfer portal guys, if those guys all play as well as we hope they would, or certainly that the coaching staff envisioned them to play based on their offers to them to begin with, right? Then yeah, I still think they're a 7 or 8 win team. That seems reasonable to me. I don't think we're going to transcend to a 9-10 win team based on talent alone. They're not there. They're going to need some breaks. They're going to need a few things to happen, and maybe that happens. It's football; it can happen, but we'll see.
Woo! So first of all, there's that. Thank you, Z-Chan.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm not going to change it because I'm on the more optimistic side, at least in the documented W's and L's.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that this team it lands somewhere between 7 wins and 9 wins, depending upon injury luck and turnover luck, the things that you just can't project.
Yeah.
And what I feel better about after watching this group through 6 practices, 4 with full pads, is if Jordan goes down, I don't think it's a 3-win team. I think it might be a 4 or 5 win team if he goes down. That's the confidence that I feel. Like they have other ways to win outside of Jordan Travis on offense. I'm beginning to believe that. I'm seeing the balance. There is a balance there, and it's not to go 500 or go to a bowl. It's just it's good enough to beat some of the lower tier teams in the conference. They're good enough to compete with those teams on offense if Jordan was to go down. So I feel like the floor has come up, but I'm not ready to say that. I believe that they're an 8 to 10 win team. I still think 7 to 9 somewhere in there, depending upon luck factors, is probably where they're going to fall. It's an improvement. That is a distinct improvement.
Well, I'll tell you something right now. If they won 9 games, that would be a lot to get excited about. That would mean you played well and beat some really good teams. It would mean that the culture has been flipped. The depth of talent is better than where I'm gauging it currently. So the high end of your projection there would be that'd be a banner year right now. It really would be. And I'd be very excited. Not saying it's impossible.
Right.
Just saying it would be very exciting.
That's a lucky year. 9 is probably lucky as we stand here now. But I mean, I could change if they continue to do what they're doing and develop. I mean, last year in fall camp, I know the Jacksonville State game happened, and I was pissed off as anybody else about Wake Forest and the mismanagement of that game. I was like, we're going to ride the hot hand. That's a great plan. But you could see it in that fall camp. They're better. They were better than they were in spring. And in this spring, they're better than they were in the fall. Overall, they are. And the thing that we're watching, and we'll look for stats in the scrimmage and in the weeks to come, but I'm speaking for you. Feel better about the pass rush than you did before we went out there for the first day? Like, it's got a chance.
Jared Verse has gotten a lot better than he was that first week. There's no doubt about that. He is improving. I don't think it's an elite pass rush. I think it'll be a serviceable pass rush, but I feel better, I guess, to answer your question. I feel better.
We were hoping for serviceable before spring practice started, though. I think we can almost expect
I think it's
it
probably
now.
serviceable. Yeah, I think so. So I want to answer this next question because, again, it was a big day yesterday out there, and I can't reiterate that enough. They really did. I think I'm pretty I'm a realistic guy when it comes to this team. And
you're loath to be optimistic.
Well, I would prefer to be optimistic. I generally look at the glasses half full, but I am brutally honest when it comes to my assessment of the program in its current condition, and have been for a long time. And I don't walk around, trying to convince myself that they're going to win 10 games. I go to practice and I go, let's see what they got. Let's see what we have here. Where are we weak? Where are we strong? Where are they legitimately going to be better than the teams they face on this schedule? Where are they going to get destroyed? How are they going to cover this up? What guys emerging or not emerging? And so, I guess what I would say is that practice yesterday had me excited for lots of reasons, because that's sustainable. Micah Pittman had his best day by far since he's been here. That was a day. We got a guy on the chat that occasionally I see comes, I don't know who it is, but he's forever prattling on about Micah Pittman being like Jesus in pads. And I hadn't seen it yet. I saw a guy that was going to be a serviceable player, a nice enough player, but not a game-changing player. Man, he was simply fantastic yesterday, and it's the second time that he's been good, but this was really good yesterday. Really good. And he wasn't the only guy. Malik McClain came on late in practice and really ended up having 4 or 5 big plays. I told you before that practice started yesterday that perhaps the most surprising thing I've seen so far is that Portier has been very good in this camp. He's been a consistently good player.
He and Tate have a thing too.
Yeah, yes, they do. So that's good to see. He's made plays. He's looked better. He's looked a little quicker and more sure of himself. That's good to see. Obviously, I'm like everybody else. When I look at Jordan Wilson, I think, not Jordan Wilson, Johnny Wilson. When I look at Johnny Wilson, I think, okay, there's a lot to work with there. We'll see. I mean, he's certainly a guy that catches your attention. So as he continues to learn the offense and gets more consistent, that body type is a reason to get excited. So there's a lot there. The running back room is a lot better than I thought it would be, partly because Benson looks like a guy that, he was described to be pre-knee injury. He looks like the guy that Norvell originally recruited a few years back. He's looked good. Rodney Hill looks really good.
Yep.
He's got a little something to him.
So does CJ Campbell.
So yeah, that room's better than I thought it would be. So that's exciting. There's reason beyond just some of the surface level things that we knew to be true that you can get excited about. I want to answer a question. We got to go to break. I'm prattled on here. But we were asked something about Joshua Burrell, right? I am of the opinion, it is my opinion, that he needs to probably be moved towards playing tight end or H-back or something like that. He does not have the requisite speed to be an outside guy. I don't think he's going to get open. He's a big dude who seems to get bigger every time I look at him. He is extremely well put together. He's got to be coming in at 235 or something like that.
It's close if it's not.
I mean, right?
He's really big.
He's a hamburger away from being in the 240s.
But not fat, though. That's not what you're trying to say.
No, that's not what I'm trying to say at all. He's just a big dude. He's trending towards being even a bigger dude. That's just going to be a big guy. So he's not beating corners, Tom. He might beat linebackers, or he might be able to do that. He's kind of a betwixt and between guy, to answer the question. Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV. Hey, Nole fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
Hi, Taco.
Hey, champ, how you doing? Pull up a pillow. Haven't seen you in a couple of days. Hey, Something's different about you.
That's right. My people took me to Tally Spay, the affordable spay and neuter clinic on West Tennessee.
Tally Spay? Isn't that the place where they...
Yeah, they're a low-cost, high-volume spay-neuter clinic.
So you're saying you've had some work done?
I did. You'd think I'd be depressed, but truth is, I don't even miss them. All I know is my family is much happier now that I've been altered. My people even brought Mr. Jingles to Tally Spay.
Tally Spay, a low-cost, high-volume spay-neuter clinic open to the public, serving Tallahassee and the surrounding areas. How you feeling, Mr. Jingles? Ugh, you're right, it is a lot nicer. Go to tallyspay.com. That's tallyspay.com. Crawfordville Auto and Tire, Crawfordville Auto and Tire. Oh, hey there. I was just singing the praises of Crawfordville Auto and Tire. They do just about everything. Complete engine rebuilds, brakes, shocks, tires, oil change, you name it, they do it. And they offer a 12-month, 12,000-mile warranty on all parts and labor. Most of the time, they can service your car the same day and offer towing to help you get to the shop. Now that's something to sing about. Open weekdays from 7:30 in the morning until 6 at night. Crawfordville Auto Repair and Tires.
Whidden Glass has been taking care of business since 1945. When you call Whidden Glass, you're dealing with experienced, reliable professionals who offer only the best. Like Whidden's top-of-the-line bath enclosures that provide style and luxury at an affordable price. Eye-catching storefronts are a specialty at Whidden Glass. We'll help you design it and install it. Whidden Glass, the first name in glass replacement. Call 222-5781.
This is Kyle, Service Manager from Barano Heating and Air. Schedule an appointment from your mobile device to learn about our Total Comfort Service Program. With guaranteed same-day service, 15% off necessary repairs, and $25 berry books to use towards air filters and other products. Turn to the experts at Carrier and Barano Heating and Air. Any day, anytime, anywhere. Online at baranoac.com.
Florida license CAC 1816-186. This is Dr. Ryan Finn from Finn Chiropractic. As a chiropractor, we correct subluxations. Here's the deal. Your brain runs the body through the nervous system. If a bone gets out of place or subluxates, it puts pressure on your nerves. These can cause headaches, neck pain, back pain, arm pain. With Finn Chiropractic, we turn your subluxation into relaxation with an adjustment. Come on by and see us or get in touch with us at finnchiro.com. That's FENNCHIRO.com. Because your chiropractor loves you and there's nothing you can do about it.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
Eric Musselman's impeccable game plan for Arkansas's defense to shut down the more athletic Gonzaga squad that loses yet again with very high expectations. Gonzaga has become Florida State baseball in the annual tradition of postseason expectations only to be devastated. And I think it is a perfectly apt analogy or comparison because it's not like they haven't accomplished something. They have. They've been to Final Fours and finals. They've been places of significance. They just haven't won the final game. And when you are a perennial 1 or 2 seed and you're projected to go to the Final Four every year and you come up short, that's what people think of as opposed to the many wins. In fact, if you look at statistically the amount of wins that Gonzaga as a program have in the NCAA tournament over the last 10 years. It's them and 2 other teams as the top, squads in all the land for victories in the tournament. But the ultimate victory eludes them in the same way that Florida State baseball is an annual fixture in the postseason and for many years, obviously, out in Omaha, which is not nothing. To get there is awfully hard, and to say that that's not an achievement is not true. But ultimately, it does beg frustration, unfortunately, when you give yourself that many opportunities, and for whatever reason, it's different usually every year. You come up short, and so that's how I see Gonzaga right now.
Our thanks to Marcus for contribution to the program. He's thanking us, so we thank him. He gave us some pizza money. # pizza money.
Oh, I appreciate that, Marcus. Thank you for the pizza money. I may get pizza tonight, Tom.
There you go.
It is Friday. I haven't had pizza
Friday
in a while. I may get a little pizza tonight.
There you go.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you're a pizza place in Tallahassee, let us know. We could be talking about you right now.
We could be right now. I do like pizza. I do. Who doesn't? Anyhow.
One thing, it was a weird night last night for me because I tried to make it through the late slate. You had talked it up correctly and aptly during practice.
Oh, yeah.
Actually, Tom Block came over and asked about it. He said, "Am I staying up late tonight?" And you said, "Yes, you are, Tom.
Yes, you
Here's
are,
why."
Tom. Here's why, yeah.
I couldn't make it, so I put the head on the pillow around 10:45, 11 o'clock, and I was watching both the basketball and the first half of USA-Mexico in the World Cup qualifier because we're on the brink of actually making a World Cup. Isn't that amazing?
How about them apples?
Couldn't sleep. So around 11:40, I said, the hell with it. Came back downstairs to watch the finish of Duke Tech.
Great game.
Yeah. That was a great game.
I had Duke. That helped.
You did?
Yeah. But this is that game. I thought that would be a great game, and I thought Arizona-Houston would go the way of Houston, and it did. I didn't bet that game. I thought those were both toss-ups. I told you that. I have to confess to being very stunned by the Arkansas result. Every metric in a tournament is a tournament. You have a bad night, you lose, and that's the way it works. And that's why it's a cruel game. It's a cruel deal, the NCAA tournament. You let that team play a series against Arkansas, they win. They lost last night, and that's it. And credit to Arkansas and Musselman because that was a game plan born from genius. They mitigated all of the strengths for Gonzaga. The first 10 minutes of that game, I'm watching and I'm thinking, oh no, Gonzaga, you knew it. Like, this is not going to be your night. Nothing's going to come easy for you, and they are going to ugly this thing. And that's how Arkansas wins. They ugly the game, and they were able to dictate terms, dictate tempo, dictate everything about the way that game was played. And once it happened that it was going down that road, Mark Few, this is what happens to us in baseball, where the expectations, the weight of those expectations, that's fine. You can know that here's the standard, here's where we're trying to go. This is all part of the process of getting to ultimately give ourselves another chance. Fine. Now get down 5-1 in the third against somebody you're supposed to pound and see if you don't feel the ghosts of failures past, right? Feel the weight of the fans in the stands.
Yeah, you'd rather be on the road.
It's an unbelievable weight, right? You could see it on Few's face, that look of, son of, this is happening again. Now, he wasn't panicking, but he knew, I'm in a dogfight. This is not going to be us getting out in transition and winning the game the way I want to win the game. This is going to be, we're going to have to win the game the way they're playing it, and they couldn't do it. It wasn't a fluke. They got beat.
As for the end of the Duke Tech game, it was 68-66 when I turned the TV on. I'm like, oh, good. There he goes. He's going to go home. And I was wrong because that's when Duke scores the next 7 points. Might be more than that. It might have been 9. But some of the shots that Roach hit.
Oh, well, he's emerged as the guy that they were hoping he would be.
That's NBA level isolation. You know it's coming. There's nothing you can do to stop it.
A little step back.
That has me worried that, Kate might finish the dream. This thing might happen for him. Well,
three number ones are gone. Only Kansas remains as a 1. This all happens before the Elite 8. Right, to have that many gone before that is solidified. It's rather amazing.
I have not, I should look at the bracket, but mine got burnt to hell within about 3 hours last Thursday.
You and the rest of the country, buddy.
Yeah. Are Duke and Carolina slated to match up in a Final Four, or would they match up in the championship game?
I didn't fill out a bracket this year, so
I'll check it. I think it's the championship game. Wouldn't that be something? Carolina could do it again. They could beat K by 25. You failed me again.
Oh, my goodness gracious. You mentioned Roach. Jeremy Roach, we see this with point guards, right? If your point guard rounds into form in the right way at the right time for the postseason, if you've got, like, when I talked about Villanova, to have Gillespie be what he is, I mean, what, fifth year point guard? He's been there forever and a day. Calming things down in the midst of chaos, in pressure situations, a guy is not going to panic or be bullied is huge. And you find these teams, you're like, well, they got one. They're hoping he becomes one. Going back to Jeremy Roach, he has become what Coach K was desperately searching for. You go back to the game where they lost to Miami earlier this year in January. After that game, Coach K killed Roach and was basically talking about the silly foul and not understanding situations.
God bless him. But,
well, that's our other guy. But
he's still there. Wendell hit a couple of big free throws last night. I was wondering, in a one-on-one situation, I'm like, don't let Wendell be the guy to end K's career. That would be phenomenal. Because it would be Wendell Moore's revenge.
Yeah.
Wendell, your thoughts on the final shots? Well, I just hated for Coach K. God bless him. God bless him on his way.
Yeah. Well, I'll just tell you this. Roach has emerged as a superstar. He hit tough shots, contested shots, created shots off the bounce when they had to have it. Free throws, all of it was there. So when you go into an NCAA tournament, if you're filling out a bracket or you just are trying to assess the field once the regions are announced, you usually, and this is the way I do it, I typically go through and say to myself, I do this with the start of football, and unfortunately that question is easier and easier to answer every year. I say, how many of these teams can win a national championship? Now, obviously on a given night, anybody can beat anybody, so St. Peter's beats Kentucky, and it happens, right? But you say, who in this group, when they play their best, have all of the components and the elements necessary to win a national championship? And the cool thing about the NCAA tournament, typically in college basketball, because there's so many teams, typically you're kind of like, you might find 6 to 8 teams that you think, okay, if the draw's right and they're playing well, they could win the national championship.
And then there's another 4 to 6 that can make it to a Final Four.
Right. But you don't think they could close the deal against the best of the best, right? So I did that, and Duke was on the list of teams that I wrote out when I was sitting there talking to my nephew who I thought could win the national championship. I said, well, Duke could. Duke hasn't played well down the stretch of the season. But if you look, I mean, you've got Banchero, the best player in the country, certainly from a draft standpoint, you look at the body type. And then Roach was beginning to play well. And anyhow, we know who Duke is, right? We've seen the team. And remember, they beat Gonzaga earlier in the year at the start of the season. So there was all these, there are moments where you see what Duke can be, where you're like, well, yeah, that can be pretty damn good. They were on the list. Kentucky was on the list. Kansas is on the list. Arizona's on the list. Went through these teams, and I went about 6 to 8. I can't remember what the final number was. It's funny to see what we've got left here. I mean, it's stunning to watch this thing play out. If you like the chaos, you're getting it. But to tell you the truth, Tom, I like North Carolina to beat UCLA as well, and so the ACC is just doing this.
Right. There it is again.
ACC is letting everybody know what time it is, baby.
Yeah, maybe we could have been one of those teams.
We could not.
We are 3-3 against ACC teams that are still alive in this tournament.
We could not have been one of those teams.
We're 500 against them.
I assure you, we could not have been one of those teams.
Let's tip it off against Miami right now.
In many ways, we're a walking miracle to have finished 500 in the ACC and having swept Miami and beat Duke.
God bless him. God bless Leonard. What he's done.
It is funny how perceptions change, by the way, because it was a terrible season to watch us go through, and I hated watching that team. They were very frustrating. They were also very unlucky. They got hurt constantly, and they had various guys missing critical minutes in big games. Yeah, there were a lot of things about the team that you're like, oh my God, if I had hair, I'd pull it out. It was just so hard to watch sometimes. And we did various breakdowns of assessment about who you're mad at, player, coach, basketball gods with injury, whatever it might be, right? But ultimately, they really were the classic box of chocolates. You never knew what you were going to get out of them at all. We were like, every time we'd watch them, lace them up, you'd be like, oh, so it's going to be that kind of night. We're going to get blown out by Boston College. Okay. And then other times you're like, we're going to win on the road against Virginia.
Right,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah. Like really weird things.
Raekwon's going for 21 tonight. All right.
Okay. I guess that's what
There
we
it
are.
is.
Yeah. So we were really weird. But in reflection, with all of those injuries, to have, to have some of those quality wins, you're like, that really is kind of stunning, because the team was disjointed, convoluted, and inconsistent, to say the least. And yet there they were. I'm not saying, hey, hold on high this year's Florida State basketball team performance. I am saying it is kind of shocking that they ended up being 500 in this league, because I don't think the league is nearly as bad as people from the outside thought it was.
Yeah, it wasn't just one night. There are multiple nights.
Yeah.
There are multiple pieces of evidence. I remember being a student in the year that Florida won their first basketball national championship, and they were about to win the football title as well. It was a very annoying time to be an undergrad at Florida State. We beat that team that came back. So, sorry, they were chasing their second one. So Noah and Brewer and all of them, they came back. Yeah. They played in a kid who could hit it from the logo.
Yeah, we beat that
the
team,
timeline, the white kid. We beat them here. Like, that was it. That was that whole season. It's like, oh, we did beat Florida that one time. This year's group, they won 4 or 5 games where you go, well, okay. Objectively speaking, that's really impressive. And you can't do that a handful of times without being something different than lucky.
IDU, long time, first time. Any way we can get some Norvellisms on the soundboard like you guys used to do with Jimbo, Jameis No, Jameis Y. Here's some libations, Friday money. First drink is on me. Lou in Lake Susie, Florida. Well, thank you, Lou. Woo! Thank you, Lou.
A woo for Lou.
A doff of the cap to you, Lou. Good times. Good times. And we appreciate you listening. Yeah, we can get some Norvellisms. I would like we have the one. We have that one. That's the you just asked me an uncomfortable question that I can't answer, so I'm going to give you a nervous laugh. That was a stall. I'm thinking of how I'm going to answer this. Yes.
It's just so low. I got to bring that up, but I'm maxing it out on the board. So hopefully you can hear that, Lou.
David, I love Terance Mann, and you got to you brought that question to the table here. If we're surprised at how good he is, yes and no. It's a cop-out answer I'm going to give you, David. I'll tell you why. The guy's understanding of basketball was thorough from day one. It was complete. In many ways, it allowed him to overcome deficiencies in his game, his overall game, right? He did a lot of things well, nothing stupendously well. Just, he could rebound. He understood where to be on the court. He defended. He's a good on-ball defender. He was a decent scorer, but not a wildly consistent shooter. So, there were all these things about his game where you're kind of like, well, you put it all together, he's a good basketball player. And good basketball players who work extremely hard and are intelligent and are blessed with some athleticism, and he can really jump. So then the thought was, okay, maybe he makes the end of a bench. Maybe he makes the league, and he's the guy that does all the things that the dirty work. He's a glue guy. He's coach's dream, right? Love this kid. He knows what he's doing. He's smart. I'm never going to have to worry about him, all that good stuff. Well, I thought that was possible. I thought he could do that and maybe make the league and stick around and get a second contract, get paid, and good on you, because that's what you root for with these good kids who come through your program and uplift the program and do everything right. But he's actually surpassed all of those expectations. There are nights in the league where Terance Mann, for that particular night in that game, was the best player on the floor. And that is stunning. Now, is he that consistently over the course of an 80-plus game season? God, no. I'm not telling you he's that. He's not an all-star. He's not any of those things. There are nights actually where he's hurt his team, too, by his deficiencies, and they've had to ask him to play more minutes because of injuries. I watched that team very closely because my son, that's his favorite player. Thus, that became his favorite team. I watch way too much Clippers basketball. They're not any good at all They're terrible to watch because of all the injuries. So when you watch them, I'm watching them lose every night, but Bryce wants to watch them because he loves them. So there are nights when I'm watching Terance Mann where I go, he's having to play too many minutes. They're taking advantage of him now. He's perfect if you cut those minutes down and you give him, 18 to 20 and say, do your thing really well, really hard for this stretch, and then we're going to take you off the floor.
We have audio of you watching Terance Mann play too many minutes.
I see it. I do. I see it. I'm like, oh. And then, what's funny about it? I think this is awesome. And we got to go to break. This is great because I used to do this as a kid, and it's come back to me now as a father. And I love these moments where I identify something that was so childlike in me all those years ago, and my stepdad or my father or my mother or whatever having to humor me, knowing that I was just a super fan. I was just a kid who was a super fan, and I didn't have a handle on all the facts. If I'm critical of something that I see from Terance Mann in a game, like he has a stretch where he just gets abused, where he's a minus player on the floor, I might say something aloud, and Bryce will be like, it's not his fault. He gets so pissed off. It's great. It's the best. He'll just look over at me and be like, it's not his fault. That he'll blame every other player on the floor for that sequence of events. And I'm like, look, I love Terance. I love Terance, but he's having to play too many minutes. Bryce, he's not supposed to be out there this long. They're taking advantage of him. Well, you don't know what you're looking at. I love it.
And yet his internal dialogue.
Right. Yes. Yeah, he knows.
He knows.
He knows. Yeah. Jeff Cameron, Show 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
For local news now.
A woman sustained life-threatening injuries during a shooting in Tallahassee Wednesday night. Around 10 p.m. on Wednesday, the woman was shot inside a home in the 1200 block of McCaskill Avenue. The suspect shot the victim and then fled the scene, TPD said in an incident report. A suspect has been identified in the case, but no arrests have been made. TPD added that it remains an open and active investigation. A new state grant will fund the expansion of the city of Tallahassee's urban farming program. The pilot farm is located in the Greater Bond neighborhood as part of the Vacant Vibrant initiative. The program teaches urban farming skills and includes entrepreneurial training. The Florida Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services is providing $48,000. The city of Tallahassee will provide a match of $16,300 with staff time and tools. The grant will allow 60 additional people to participate in the program, as well as fund 20 more paid apprenticeships for local farmers. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Partly cloudy skies this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 72. Westerly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Clear skies tonight, lows dip down to about 48. Bright sunshine expected tomorrow, high of 73. Daytime highs approaching 73 Sunday under sunny skies. 79 Monday. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 71.
What do you need tires on? Your car or truck, tractor or heavy equipment? At Nice Tire and Auto Service, we have tires for all of these needs. And we service your vehicle from air conditioning and computerized alignment to oil changes and everything else under the hood. Call Nice Tire and Auto today at 574-4100. That's 574-4100 for your scheduled maintenance. National accounts welcome at Nice Tire and Auto Service, 4792 Bluntstown Highway, just west of Capitol Circle.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
Chattanooga, Tennessee. Pastor Tabner was alone with a female church employee. She in a towel and he in his boxers. The charismatic 41-year-old Hurley explained the two of them had been making chili and gotten food on the place. with the hot dogs that they're making. We are hoping that the pastor used the right condiments.
I think there was at least one hot dog involved.
I don't know what you're talking about. We were just making chili dogs.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. Jeff Cameron Show is sponsored by the legendary team at Hamilton Home Loans. Great rates, cutting-edge technology, and transparent communication is the recipe for a 5-star mortgage experience at FSUHomeLoans.com.
Oh, man, one of the downsides of having revealed my fear of nature over the years, in particular spiders, is everybody sends me these videos.
Oh, no. That's not cool. Crosses the line right there.
No, there's this spider in Australia that is, well, I mean, that's all you got to say. Spider, Australia. There it is.
Yeah.
You know it's
bigger than a Mini Cooper.
Oh, they're just, and I'm going to show you this video during the break.
No, thanks. I'm gonna close my eyes.
I want you to see it. It's killing a cricket, but you have to see this. It's a cricket. When you see this thing, though, you're like, ooh, that poor cricket. He had a moment to think about
Charlotte's Web. That's as far as I go with the spiders.
I have wondered now, if you're, these are primitive creatures, crickets or insects like that. They survive, evolutionarily speaking, based on numbers and only numbers, certainly not their wit. So sheer numbers, right? They don't probably have time to surmise the predicament they're about to be in the moment. Whereas human beings, unfortunately, we could. We are armed with the ability to reason and logic, right? And discern. And so in many ways, it's terrorizing. It's the worst possible way to die because I'm about to be eaten. Whereas a cricket's not thinking about being eaten. Something just, wow, I'm dead. It doesn't have any,
no sentience.
No.
Yeah.
But you and I, if this happens, if a great white is circling us right before the moment it decides.
Always with the great whites.
Well, I'm just saying, or a tiger, it doesn't matter. But if that happened, or a lion, or a tiger, or a great ape, or something like that, had decided they'd seen enough of us, and that was it. You have time to think about it. You got a lot of time. So what happens is we project that on the cricket or whatever it is being eaten by this evil-ass spider from Australia. You're like, oh, that thing, but it doesn't know. It doesn't know. I'm just telling you that so that you...
Well, yeah. I told you, I'm still messed up from... wow. I'm getting old. It's going on 14 years ago, almost 15 years ago. I took care of my buddy's pet snake, right?
Because I fed it a rat or something?
Yeah, because the couch tour Tallahassee was a thing. I think it still is for the kids. Where
Sure.
I had about a 3-week period between leases. I had nowhere to go.
Yeah, everybody's done it. Yep.
And he was on vacation. He's like, just here are the keys. Take my place.
Just make
take
sure
care
you
of the
feed
snake.
this thing the rat. Yeah.
Yeah, and I did, and that bothered me. I'm not a big fan of it. I'm sorry, some people can do it. And listen, if we were in a war, all right, give me the gun, I'll get you. No problem.
Yeah.
But this,
in some ways, you could do that
different.
better than you could feeding
easily. Yeah.
I know.
And the kicker was the snake died a week later. I'm like,
what
damn
the hell? What'd you do?
I did nothing wrong.
Okay. I don't know if I were your friend, I'd believe that. He goes away on vacation.
What did you feed the rat? You gave the snake.
Yeah.
You bastard.
Did you assassinate my snake because you didn't like the way that it has to eat?
It's not the snake's fault.
No, it's definitely not. I'm asking you. I'm asking.
Yeah.
I know the answer.
I see.
I know. I'm just
saying.
Go
like Newman. You're gonna turn the light on me for mail fraud.
Oh man, no. I just. So it died a week later.
It did.
I bet you never got asked to snake sit again.
No, well, part of me was like, good, but I was like, it's not the snake's fault.
No, definitely not. Anyhow, I do. This was my way of saying in a short segment. Thanks to all of you who send me stuff on Twitter and social media platforms and like, hey, check out Cameron. I know you hate this. Check this out. Oh my goodness gracious. And I'm that gullible. Every time somebody sends me something, it can even be clearly labeled. And I go, well, all right, let's click on it. All right. Oh no. Every time I do it over and over and over and over again. And I got yesterday on Twitter.
There's a guy named Dan Squatch in the chat, which I think is an awesome name. but he wants to know from you about the strength and conditioning program. Is there anybody that you've seen at practice and you go, that's what I'm talking about? Maybe.
Farmer has looked, sizable, obviously.
Right. That's his suggestion as well.
Yeah. Anybody else that
DJ Lundy's trimmed down?
He's gotten in better shape. Look, there are some guys who appear ready-made. I mean, guys who got here that you're just like, well, yeah, are we going to give Coach Storms credit for verse? No. I mean, that guy came walking through the door looking like that. Dylan Gibbons looks healthier, a lot healthier.
Answer.
Yeah, Dylan Gibbons is a good answer.
Yep.
I think that's a guy that he's leaner in the right way. He's big, strong. He looks more muscular. He looks everything about him right now. Now, keep in mind, he's a giant offensive lineman. They're not, he's not.
Yeah, but we improved where he came from, which is interesting.
Yeah.
At Notre Dame, he was kind of puffy.
He had some injury issues and things like that. So I don't know what's what there, but I would suggest that he's a guy that you kind of tip the cap to. Looks good.
Malik McLean.
Yeah. I mean, but again, I think Malik was already kind of a big guy coming in here. He had the body type. But
he had the body type, but he was a freshman here. It wasn't a transfer situation, so he's developing the way that you would expect someone at Florida State to come in and develop.
Yeah, they have more. Here's a better talking point, in my opinion. They have more guys that, and I continue to say this, that look the part. And that is big to me, that you see more and more guys on this team that look the part if we're to where we want to be. Hour 2 forthcoming. Stay with.
This is an important message regarding your backyard grilling capabilities. Upgrade your outdoor grill, indoor and outdoor fireplaces, wood stoves, or create a custom outdoor kitchen. The team at Hearth and Patio can do it all. If you haven't seen all of the amazing things you can do with a custom outdoor kitchen from Hearth and Patio, take a minute and visit their website, hearthpatiotallahassee.com. That's hearthpatiotallahassee.com. Call Hearth and Patio today at 727-4282. That's 727-4282.
Leaky faucet, busted pipes, clogged toilet? M&L Plumbing is here for you. For all commercial, construction, and residential plumbing issues, call M&L Plumbing at 575-9393 or visit online at mnlplumbing.com.
This is an insurance market alert from Barbara at Faircloth Insurance in Tallahassee. A few months ago, I asked you to contact your legislators to help stop the skyrocketing property insurance rates in Florida. Other states average 2 lawsuits per day on property insurance claims. Florida has 384 per day. The property owners of Florida are being taken advantage of, but it is not by the insurance companies. The companies are paying out 10 times the cost of a claim or more that would have been paid anyway. People are canvassing neighborhoods, knocking on doors, suggesting that the property owner may have some damage. The property owner innocently signs something that turns all control of any claim settlement to an attorney that becomes the person designated to get the claim check and who controls the disbursement of the claim payment. If we want these rates to go down, we must reach out to our legislators and let them know how unaffordable home insurance has become and that we want them to support reform that will fix the issues. This has been an insurance market alert from Barbara at Faircloth Insurance in Tallahassee.
Applications, onboarding, payroll, termination. Business owners and managers, these are the processes that take away too much time from what you do best. But what if there was a locally owned, responsive solution that would charge you a fraction of the big national payroll companies? Sound too good to be true? It's not. North Florida Payroll Services is Tallahassee owned for nearly 15 years. And in that time, their prices have never changed. The reason North Florida Payroll Services can do that? Exceptional customer service that constantly evolves with the latest technology. From application to termination, for turnkey service for your payroll and HR services, trust a Tallahassee expert and save yourself time and money. North Florida Payroll Services. Online at northfloridapayroll.com.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas Wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
Coming up next, more of the Jeff Cameron Show. Live and local on Real Talk 93.3. WVFT, Gretna, Tallahassee.
News this hour from townhall.com. I'm Jason Walker. President Biden meeting today with U.S. troops stationed in southeastern Poland near the Ukraine border. Greg Clugston has more.
About an hour's drive from the border with Ukraine, the president met with members of the Army's 82nd Airborne Division.
You are the finest fighting force in the history of the world.
He visited a barber shop and a dining hall, even sitting down to share some pizza. The president's main message was one of gratitude.
Thank you, thank you, thank you for your service. Thank you for who you are.
Later, he received a briefing on the humanitarian response to the millions of Ukrainians who are fleeing to Poland to escape the Russian assault. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Also at townhall.com, the Salem Radio Network parent company of Town Hall is partnering with two Christian nonprofit organizations to rush emergency relief to Ukraine, Food for the Poor, and the organization Feed My Starving Children, rushing food, water, and emergency supplies to Ukraine around the clock. And Ed Rain, president and CEO of Food for the Poor, says those deliveries will continue long after the media spotlight shifts from Ukraine.
When we make a commitment, we commit for the long term. And so we expect that our relationship with Feed My Starving Children in Ukraine is going to last well beyond the media coverage. We're going to have to dig deep. We're going to need your incredible generosity to be able to help the situation, because it's going to take months.
More information on this massive relief effort can be found on srnnews.com. North Korea says it has test-fired its biggest intercontinental ballistic missile under the orders of Kim Jong-un. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Moose is the German Shepherd, now 11, and he's been an amazing dog. Moose is so active and so alert and hasn't had any kind of health problems at all. He has a beautiful coat, and at 11, he'll still run and chase the ball. He has been on Dynavite since he's a puppy.
Dynavite for life.
Because if they're getting all their vitamins, micronutrients, microbials from the beginning, then you're not going to run into the problems associated with the grass, pollen, dust, dirt, fleas, ticks, you name it, and the itching and shedding down the road. DINOVITE.com. We tell anybody that has a dog, if there was something that you could do right from the beginning so that you don't have expensive veterinary bills, why would you not do it? Get the Dynavite.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
I get my Dynavite from DINOVITE.com.
Hey, no fans, our partner ISF Inc. is a national management and IT consulting firm located right here in Tallahassee, Florida, solving the future for state governments through strategy, process, and technology. As a trusted advisor for state governments, ISF knows the importance of defining a clear and detailed strategy. Our friends at ISF can help your organization create a strategy that sets you on a path to success. ISF, your vision plus our expertise brings your brilliant ideas to life. Visit ISF.com to learn more. ISF, solving the future.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
Broadcasting live from Florida's capital city, this is the Jeff Cameron Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness on Real Talk 93.3. Now, stop what you're doing and listen closely. It's time for the Jeff Cameron Show in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
we go ahead with Florida State football. But did you see this, Tom? Oh, this is good. Because I knew it was going to lead to this, but it's a prime opportunity for segments for the JCS PR firm, the Jeff Cameron Show PR firm. Deshaun Watson's press conference today, buddy.
Whoa, he had one already?
Yeah, they're
Oh,
in the midst of it right now. Hey, so here's my favorite part. I went, right? You can't hide him forever. So here's the question. Bold questioning from this reporter. You ready? I'm going to go back to 40 massage people. Why not just find one you really like and stick with that person? 40 seems like so many, doesn't it? That's the question. Deshaun Watson with word salad as an answer. And I knew that was coming. Well, as far as the team, and when I say team, I'm not saying the Cleveland Browns, but my agency and things like that. 40 is, over a lot of time. It's not in one period of time, I've been in Houston for 5 years. So you go to different people, and that's just how, I said before, and I'll say, I can't get too far into some of the details, but as businesses work and you move around and meet people, and people have different schedules and such, and different blocks of time, you meet people over a longer period of time, quote unquote.
Well, I know that. Bring the head comb.
Our ass is in the jackpot now, okay?
That answer, I am plastering that on my mirror in the morning so I have something to smile about before I start my day. That answer is fantastic. As in gibberish. It is just fantastic. I love it. I'm going to read it again. Well, as far as the team, and when I say team, I'm not saying the Cleveland Browns, but my agency and things like that. 40 is over time, over a long period of time. It's not in one period of time. I've been in Houston for 5 years, so there's different people, and that's just how, like I said before, I can't get into details, but as businesses work and you move and you meet people and different people, and people have different schedules and blocks, and you kind of meet people over a long period of time.
Well, I know that. Bring the head comb.
Oh, that's a toughie. That's a toughie. Oh, Deshaun, you should have hired the Jeff Cameron Show PR firm. I wouldn't have had you out there stutter effing your way through this ridiculous gibberish. I would have been like, my man, if you get asked about this, and you're going to be asked about this many times, it will be reworded. I assure you it's the same question, Deshaun. But here's what you're going to do. And then I would have given him whatever sentence I gave him, and he would have used it repeatedly.
Well, in the times with businesses,
And
people
things,
move around and things,
and people,
and nature and such.
different people and people.
Let me tell you about a man named Mr. Unlimited.
Agency and such. What the hell what are you talking about? That is so good.
How could you be unprepared for that question?
Yeah,
of all questions.
Yeah, well, it was the second part. The first part, he answered whatever nonsensical babble, and then that reporter followed up when I want to go back to the 40 massage people. You got to give credit to that reporter. Like, wait, hold on. Can we go back to the 40 different massage therapists you've seen? Let's help me get a handle on the 40 different.
Deshaun, first of all, yes or no, is the 40 number accurate?
Yeah.
Yes. 40.
40. So it seems excessive.
Deshaun, there are about 35 people in this room.
You've had more massage therapists in the last 5 years than the people in this room represent.
Our ass is in the jackpot now, okay?
I mean, oh, I love stuff like that. I really do. That is too good. That, mm. Do you think his agent's like, Jesus? Oh,
What that screams of is the agent and or the PR team trying desperately to get him to listen to make sure that he's prepared for the question. And he's like, I got it. No problem. Oh, I got it. Don't you worry. Watch this.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, God.
Well, here, this is going to be great.
Well, let me go find a new client.
This is
Maybe
good.
Tyreek Hill needs some representation.
A lot of momentum, quote unquote, for, while I'm on the subject of the NFL, for changing NFL overtime rules. Competition Committee Chairman Rich McKay said Friday, it is unclear whether enough owners will agree on a specific proposal, when they gather next week for the annual meetings in Palm Beach, Florida. 2 proposals are under consideration. The Colts and Eagles have proposed making it mandatory for each team to have an overtime possession before moving to sudden death. The Titans, meanwhile, proposed a tweak that would require mandatory possession for each team unless the team that has the first possession scores a touchdown and converts a 2-point conversion. The competition committee did not endorse either proposal. McKay said that was because the clubs covered the nature of the discussion well. In a conference call, however, McKay warned reporters about the difficulty of getting the necessary 24 votes from owners to change the rule. Quote, I think in my history on this rule, it tells me that 24 votes is not easy to get. I do think the stats absolutely warrant an examination of whether overtime rules need to be further modified. We'll see. The disappointing aspect as we get set for next week, and I always pay attention to the rules competition, the competition committee, because of all the asinine things that the NFL tends to focus on that nobody's ever thought of or cares about, such as why don't we implement more ways to penalize players for sportsmanship violations? Nobody's brought that up. Nobody's thought about that. Nobody thinks about that, but they are.
I think we need a 4th level infraction for when a defender impedes a receiver. We have illegal contact, defensive holding, pass interference. There needs to be another one.
Yeah.
What do you think?
A 4th or a 5th, Tom.
What do you think, Roger?
Yeah.
Love it.
Love it. Let's vet
Rubber
this next
stamp.
week.
Let's go.
Let's get the competition committee in here ASAP. Yeah, it's nuts. Yeah.
Let's go with illegal interference.
Well, I read that they are going to show video, Tom, of the proper ways in which you call players for taunting, and then those that would be considered a bit of an overreach, of which we saw several instances in which an official just decided, I'm offended, I'm going to throw a flag. Doesn't work that way, my man.
I believe that's the meeting, whether it's virtual or in person, that the good official who thinks this is ridiculous pops a beer or opens up a 5th or something in front of everybody.
In front of everybody.
This is going to be great.
Yeah, let's
hear
all this.
Time.
Yeah, it's nuts.
Go ahead, Mike Pereira.
Please. But Pereira doesn't believe in it either.
He doesn't, I know.
Yeah,
he's free.
Yeah.
He's out of the system.
Yeah, and he'll straight tell people, like, hey, this is wrong.
What's funny is those guys really stick, they toe the company line for their officials for about 4 or 5 years.
And then they're like, peace.
And then they're like, you know what? Most of my guys that I knew are gone, so I don't care anymore.
I just got done listening to an interview with him last month that I thought was incredibly insightful. He was
smart guy.
Yeah, yes, he is. He was forthcoming, and he came he came really to the rescue of the average fan. He said, here's one of the problems that they have in the NFL. He believes that the competency of the officials has never been greater in terms of their sheer knowledge of the rule book and understanding of how it's applied, all of that. But that because there are too many rules that are emphasized and overemphasized and reiterated time and again in the offseason, their mind is constantly swimming. They can't just go with the flow of a football game. They're having to, and we have said this on the show, look for infractions. And the very root of all of these problems where the game gets drawn out beyond reason, officials affect the outcome of the game. Thus, we question the integrity of the game when these things happen, which is the very thing that can't happen to your sport. So they go into games constantly searching for infractions as opposed to only calling the infractions that are self-evident, obvious, over the top, beyond the pale, right? Like things where you go, oh, okay, that you, my man, you're strangling him. I'm going to have to throw this flag. You can't tackle a defensive lineman. We're not going to allow that. If you're a guard, we're going to go ahead and throw that one. I got you. Just the obvious stuff. Other than that, it's a gladiatorial sport. Let's let these dudes beat the bejesus out of each other. They're paid handsomely to do so. They understand the risks. We're no longer covering that up. Let's let them go to war.
Right. There's an odor in a car versus Nate Newton's car.
You're like, well.
For so long, we've treated even the odor of the car like Nate Newton's car. There's a big difference here in what we're doing.
The Nate Newton stuff was always my favorite. He came to town. I actually had a chance to talk to Nate Newton.
What?
Yeah, he came to speak here one time. Yeah, Nate Newton.
That is stunning.
Well, he's a fam guy, and he came back to town, and he ended up speaking, I think, at the quarterback club, I want to say, years and years and years ago, where he, he owned it, obviously. I mean, he was transporting weed. It's not the end of the world. It wasn't a serial killer, type thing, but a lot of weed. A lot of it.
About
yeah.
5 Nate Newtons amount.
Yeah, so I remember my favorite part about that is, like, a lot of the guys that you read about getting busted transporting, say, weed or anything else illegal throughout the state, he got busted because he had his lights off. My man, it can't happen. It can't happen. Like, sir, like, double check those lights. Triple check those lights. Got to make sure the lights are on. I can't, like, that has to be the most ridiculous. Imagine telling your cellmate, yeah, no, I was good. I was cruising along, 5 miles per hour over the speed limit. I was good. Staying in the right lane, listening to my music. All of a sudden, whoop, whoop. I'm like, oh, no, this ain't good. What's going on here? Sir, I pulled you over because your lights are off. Well, good God. Can you step out of the car? You know what I mean? Like, your lights? Like, oh, I forgot to put the license plate on the car.
Right. Yeah. And then there's just like stacks of cash in the back seat.
Yeah, like, you're screaming.
So the
like,
cop's like, wait a minute.
I want to go to
this
jail.
This is for a license plate. Now, what is with the $1 million in cash you got in the back seat there, fella?
I remember one time in college, I got into a huge argument with my buddy who went on to become a cop and then worked for FDLE and is now head of security in the Midwest for, I won't say, but he's doing great. But we got into a fundamental argument about the law.
3M, that's the guess.
And he knew,
Oh.
and he certainly knew the law. He was in the program, and I was saying he told me that if, and I don't, again, totally, I don't know the law in this regard, but I asked him, because I'd read a story where a guy got pulled over and he had, and I don't know how they saw this, but he had like $75,000 in cash on him. And obviously that that caused a rise in suspicion of illegal activity because my man was traversing about town with $75,000 in cash. I was like, well, man, come on. If I want to carry $75,000 in cash, and that's how I roll. Why does that give you carte blanche to ask me to step out of the car? And he was explaining the process to me, and I was like, this is wrong. He's like, oh, it's wrong. You don't think that's reasonable suspicion that something is illegal, something of an illegal nature is going on? And we go back and forth. This is at the start of the argument.
Right, you're arguing for our rights.
I'm arguing that if I want to drive around with $1 million in cash,
right.
I can do it. Right.
You're a patriot. Thank you for that. That's your life.
Oh,
it's
man.
your rights.
Yeah.
Miranda, this.
Yeah, we were going through it. It was funny. It was a funny argument. It went on for like 2 hours. He's like, this is ridiculous, Jeff. You're being disingenuous. You know damn well. I was like,
well, the chances may be, but what was he pulled over for?
I don't remember. It was a long time ago. But it was an article I read, and I brought it. I was like, what? I mean, I get that, I'd be a little suspicious too, but.
There's no odor.
Yeah,
I wasn't inebriated.
Yeah, right.
Like, what are you gonna do?
It's a weird cat driving around with $75,000. He's begging to be robbed. I'll probably see this guy again.
Right. That's it. Yeah. Right.
Yeah,
you'll have a shiv in him.
Mm-hmm. Jared Verse is who I want to talk about next because he has come an awful long way in the practices that we've witnessed, and in addition to having come an awful long way. That dude, if he's actually really good in games, is going to be a superstar because of his personality.
It's a great tease. Can I ask you a fun question before we get to the Jared Verse thing next segment?
Sure.
Timmy in the chat. It's a good one. If you were at a wrestling match, Gibbons versus Lyles, who would you take?
Ooh, Lyles.
Really? Okay.
Yeah, I think Caden Lyles.
Just because of the mean nature of him?
He looks a little bit.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, if it was a death match, I think I'd take Lyles. I would take Lyles. like 100%. Caden looks like he can go to that place.
Yeah, he looks out there. He looks scary and also fierce.
Right.
There's a look.
Like he could go to that place that's necessary where pain is not felt. But Gibbons looks stout. Like he looks like he's in better shape to handle a wrestling match.
He does, but I honestly, I do. I think Caden Lyles looks like, to me, the guy that if you said of all of the transfer portal guys that we brought in, who are you most excited about potential based on just looking at him?
Yeah, who would you hire to protect you?
That guy. I want Caden Lyles. It's Jeff Cambridge, 93.3 Real Talk Radio, Warchant TV.
Are you hungry and looking for a new way to save some money? Ditch the expensive bites and eats for delivery options. Ordering food from your favorite local restaurant just got easier. Choose foodiestakeout.com to save 10% when you order from select local restaurants today. Text Foodies to 230-9456 and get 10% off your first order at foodiestakeout.com. Don't wait. Do it now and save. Text the word Foodies to 230-9456. Shop local and save at foodiestakeout.com.
Sellers Tile does it better for business owners, contractors, designers, and homeowners. Better design ideas, better quality tile, carpet, and hardwood flooring, better mosaics, ceramic, and vinyl solutions. And Sellers makes it easier with their amazing showroom and first-class professionals. Maybe it's time to get Sellers working for you on Capitol Circle Northeast, just north of Mahan Drive, or online at sellerstile.com for better style, quality, and design. Go with Sellers in Tallahassee. Call 656-8453.
Hi, Taco.
Hey, champ, how you doing? Pull up a pillow. Haven't seen you in a couple of days. Hey, something's different about you.
That's right. My people took me to Tally Spay, the affordable spay and neuter clinic on West Tennessee.
Tally Spay? Isn't that the place where they...
Yeah, they're a low-cost, high-volume spay-neuter clinic.
So you're saying you've had some work done?
I did. You'd think I'd be depressed, but truth is, I don't even miss them. If anything, I feel more calm. I don't feel like I have to run around looking for company, and my people can leave me alone with the couch cushions.
Hey, I can stop anytime I want.
Tally Spay, a low-cost, high-volume spay-neuter clinic open to the public, serving Tallahassee and the surrounding areas. Tally Spay. For more information and to schedule a same-day surgery and pickup, go to tallyspay.com. That's tallyspay.com.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love. And you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
This is Andy Cohen. When I was a law enforcement officer, I devoted my life to a career of service and protection. Who's protecting you? Give me a call. 850-671-FARM. That's 671-FARM. Helping you is what we do best.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
What's important when shopping at a gun store? Let's start with a friendly and knowledgeable staff. Then add top-notch service, great selection and pricing, and a personal shopping experience only found at a locally owned and operated business. And Red Hills Arms, they're right on target. While other gun stores come and go, Red Hills Arms remains Tallahassee's go-to local gun store for all your firearms needs. Stop by today and get welcomed in like family.
We all want more energy, more strength, more results. Well, welcome to Orange Theory Fitness as you take a step towards feeling more alive today. Backed by science, Orange Theory's heart rate monitored workout is scientifically designed to keep heart rates in a target zone, spiking metabolism and increasing energy. Orange Theory Fitness is a one-of-a-kind group personal training workout resulting in more energy, visible toning, and extra calorie burn for up to 36 hours. Experience a more vibrant life today with Orange Theory Fitness. To find out more, go to orangetheoryfitness.com.
The Jeff Can Show, brought to you by Orange Theory Fitness. 2 Tallahassee locations, Midtown on Thomasville Road and Northside in the Village Common Shopping Center. Online at orangetheoryfitness.com.
cold than he did early on. And that is, and I think can be attributed to, again, having a better understanding of technique. He's a quick learner. That's a real positive sign. I'm excited to see it. Love the kid's personality. He is a lot of fun to talk to. And if he becomes an elite pass rusher in this league, he's going to be the face of Florida State football for a while on that side of the ball because he's just so engaging. He's funny. He's quick-witted. He's interesting. He's got the look to him. So it'd be great. It'd be great to have a guy like that. You know, every year I think of these things. It's low on the totem pole of things I concern myself with. But, you know, you go to the ACC meetings. I'm not saying he's going to be a part of that necessarily, but you go to kickoff. You always want a couple of guys that can really play, but also represent the school well. And you've got one in Jordan Travis without question. And you know, we'll see who they choose on the defensive side of the ball. But in the future, Jared Verse will be one of those guys. I don't think there's any question. He's as affable as they come, and looks the part, and he's developing quickly. He is. He's really developing quickly.
Yeah, it was steadily more noticeable. I thought the first few days where he was making plays, quote unquote, I thought he was catching them.
Yeah, I thought
not going and getting them.
Yeah.
And that's part of it too. It means that you're staying in your gap, and maybe a quarterback is pressured by a different place and he's flushed into you and you get the credit for the sack. That's fine. It means you're doing your job. But now he's going and making the plays, and he's affecting the passer, and
he's emboldened by that play too, Tom. He'll tell you about it. He'll tell Jordan Travis about it. He'll tell everybody about it. I like it.
He also is willing to tell people that he likes what you know about Bless Harris.
Yeah, I thought it was a bit excessive.
It was, but it might not be wrong. He says that Bless is a top 5 offensive lineman he's ever played against. Well, when you're coming from Albany, that's probably true. Wait till he sees different offensive linemen from different schools. He'll be like, oh,
yeah,
this guy's in my top 5 next week. That guy's in my top 5.
Yeah, it's constantly changing. But as to Bless Harris and what that means, it's, again, a sign that they didn't swing and miss. They got a guy that, bare minimum, is going to provide quality depth. I'm not going to get on here and sing the praises at length of this offensive line. I don't think they're going to be good. I think they're going to be average. I'll take average because they've been bad for a long time. Average feels good. It'll even seem like it's really good because it's been so bad, but it is still average, just so you know.
I think I kept up with all of that.
Yes. It is still average at best, which will feel very good despite being average.
However, there is a chance for it to be above average once they figure out what they have or don't have. They are clearly experimenting. We can't talk about the ins and outs of it.
Yeah,
you can guess with Darius Washington, given that Mike has gone on the record and said that they're going to try him at different places, the versatility of what he brings to the table. But that means you're moving other parts around. And when they mix and match the 1s and the 2s and certain players slide up or down, they're looking to find, all right, in case of emergency in a game, where can we go? And or, you know what? Let's give this kid some run in some higher leverage situations and see how he handles it. How does he play next to a certain tackle that we're probably going to have or a center that we're going to have? So I think once they find their 7 that they like, I think we know the direction they're going. But once they firmly establish that and then they rep it day in and day out instead of mixing and matching, it might look more impressive in fall camp because of the chemistry that comes with that.
It could raise to the level of good. Yeah. I think we enter the season with the idea in my mind that it's average, but they could be good. They could. I think the potential is there. Now, the biggest thing is, again, they have more depth. They don't have a ton of depth. So, listen, and I'm projecting, these are my own thoughts here. Caden Lyles is your starting center, okay? You know Dylan Gibbons is at guard. Yep. He's a good one, too, by the way. So, basically, if I'm projecting the group right now, and I'm just going to say this, because, again, they're mixing and matching a lot of guys, so let me just be somewhat nebulous here. All right. I'm going to go, obviously, Lyles, Gibbons, Washington, Robert Scott is there. And then
Washington the tackle or Washington the guard? Or do you want to just say Washington? And
I'll just say Washington and not get in trouble.
Fair enough.
And I just, we'll
who's
see.
your 5th best? Is it Maurice? Is it Bless? Is it
probably Bless right now?
There you go.
Probably Bless right now.
Welcome aboard.
Yeah, probably Bless right now. Maurice may just get supplanted altogether. He's too small, man. He's just too small, not strong enough. Yeah, there you go. That's where I'm going. And then I think, and so then if I do that, if that's just me, then Maurice is a backup. And who else do you like? You have a seventh? Because you say
depends
7
on the
or 8
position.
a lot of times, and I don't.
It depends on the position. I think that Estes with a summer development might be somebody that could go in a pinch and play interior. I was hopeful for more out of Schrader and Herring at this time. Schrader more than you're just not ready yet.
Nope.
In my personal view of
my
the
personal view is not even close to ready. Not even close.
We'll see how Lloyd Willis takes to the well. Come on now.
He's got a long way to go.
That's correct.
Not
but
enough.
When he gets it right, the strength is automatically there. So the base tools are there. Mm-hmm. It's just a matter of assimilating all the development that he's going through right now.
Better stay healthy, boys. Better stay healthy. Gonna need that health to be. Now they're better off than they were.
They could survive with an issue at guard. The question has been, can you get me 3 tackles? And I don't know that they're there yet. I think they got 2. And Darius could slide back to if Darius moved to right tackle or stayed at right tackle. Let's put it that way.
Yeah.
I think you got a hell of a lot more options as we stand today. Now they've got 9 more practices to go in spring and fall camp.
Here. Yeah, and we're gonna allow for growth. Okay.
But as we sit here today, if Darius slid back to right tackle where he was last season and the experiment was put on hold for a while, I think you've got a lot of mixing and matching you could do in the interior and find a way to make it work.
I think what you like, if you're going to say, okay, what's the plus part of the offensive line for Florida State? It's the interior all day long, every day. It's that group of 3 in the interior that you feel like, I would even label them good, the interior. I think they're average to below average at tackle. I don't think they have a lot of options at tackle. I'm telling you what I think right now. I'd bring in a tackle. I'd be moving.
If you can.
I'd try to find somebody.
That was always the goal too. I don't think that's any different. The thing is, define your 3 in the interior, because I feel good about Lyles and Gibbons.
I feel really good
about
Lyles.
You got to find a third. You got to find a third that works together with however you want to construct the interior of the offensive line. They've got options there.
They do.
At tackle, you have fewer options.
Yeah, I don't think you have many
Scott
options.
Washington, Bless Harris are your 3 that you could mix and match, but you might need Washington on the inside.
You probably need Washington on the inside if Bless Harris has to start. And if that happens, then Washington's on the inside. And I like that group of 3 right there very much. Let's hope Bless continues to develop. Let's hope Bless becomes something more than I thought he'd be. I thought when we brought him in, based on what I saw, he'd be a backup, and that was fine. It was a good quality backup. He's surprised the people. He's played well in camp. I think they're probably pretty impressed with what he's doing, and so maybe that gives you the option to move Washington inside, and that's great. Then you've got a good 3 inside. Other than that, again, I just don't think this group is where you'd ideally want it to be. It's better. But I don't love our tackles.
So, yeah, your dark horse candidates after that would be Lloyd Willis with development, Schrader with development, strength program kind of stuff.
Schrader's a ways away, man, in my opinion.
Estes, that I think, has a chance. He's certainly strong enough. But, again, that's part of the development. A lot of these guys we're mentioning are younger, and so it might click for them.
Got to get them to the Bama table, baby.
Yeah.
They need vitamins, nutrients.
Rod Orr from the trunk is big enough. He's the Bama table, but he's tiny up top.
And remains tiny up top. Come on, Josh. Let's go. Get these guys on some supplements. It's Jeff Cameron Show, 93.3 Real Talk Radio and Warchant TV.
Your local news now.
The Florida Highway Patrol responded to a crash with injuries on Old Bainbridge Road. Troopers responded to the area near the Gadsden County line around 2:30 p.m. The incident involved a head-on collision between 2 cars, and at least 3 people were involved. 1 person was life-flighted to the hospital as well. No more details have been provided at this time. Monoclonal COVID-19 treatment provider CDR Health announced its antibody therapy sites closed statewide at close of business yesterday. CDR Health says the closure is due to the recent announcements regarding federal funding running out. Since the beginning of the pandemic, CDR Health says they have provided over 4 million COVID-19 tests, 2.7 million vaccinations, and 150,000 monoclonal antibody treatments. If Congress passes a new funding bill that covers monoclonal antibody treatments, CDR stands ready and willing to reopen sites within 24 to 48 hours. This is Rachel Lene with your Real Talk 93.3 Local News Update, brought to you by Macklemore Systems, Tallahassee's go-to Mac store. Check them out online at MacklemoreSystems.com.
This is meteorologist Paul Trombley with your Real Talk 93.3 weather update. Partly cloudy skies this afternoon with daytime highs approaching 72. Westerly winds 10 to 15 miles per hour. Clear skies tonight. Lows dip down to about 48. Bright sunshine expected tomorrow. High of 73. Daytime highs approaching 73. Sunday under sunny skies. 79 Monday. This report is brought to you by the Lawn Johns. For all your landscaping and lawn care needs, visit thelawnjohns.com. Right now, 72.
This is Patty Wilson.
Oh, I'm sorry. We're ready.
He's recording.
Why are you always saying your last name? It's Patty and Scott. Everybody knows
know that.
Patty and Scott.
I don't know. This is Patty Wilson. I am Patty Wilson.
What is the idea behind said promo?
It's for Patty's Playhouse. We're on Patty's Playhouse Saturdays at 11. Tune in. That's stupid. Just tune in. Saturdays at 11. Patty Wilson, Patty's Playhouse. House talk with a happy ending.
Each and every time.
Well. Hey, Jeff, look at this place.
Yeah. Well, doing well. It's been a while since I've seen you, brother, but, it hasn't been a while since I've been over to Gordo's. I go there on the regular because of you, Eddie.
Well, we keep you regular.
Well, that's true, but I think of Gordo's as a place to sit down, have a cold beer, talk to your friends, enjoy the sports, eat the delicious food. But I think of you as Uncle Eddie, a man who takes care of his people and takes care of the town.
I appreciate that, Jeff. Hey, and we'll keep you regular.
Gordo's, bringing the flavor and flair of Cuban food to Tallahassee since 1996.
Here's what you missed on the Greg Tish Show.
Of 97 patients, 33 are vaccinated, and 63% are considered incidental.
See, this is what I'm upset about. He's basically made up the percentages to look like it's at 100%, but the two are not related to each other.
What's 37% of 97?
It's 35.89.
So why in the hell can't he literally ask iPhone to include that in his articles?
Maybe he's got an Android.
The Greg Tish Show, Monday through Friday, 6 to 9 a.m., only on Real Talk 93.3. The Jeff Cameron Show is sponsored by the legendary team at Hamilton Home Loans. Great rates, cutting-edge technology, and transparent communication is the recipe for a 5-star mortgage experience at FSUHomeLoans.com.
It's fun to go down the Bowie rabbit hole because each album is so different.
Yeah, you could really, it's hard to actually do it in sequence because you're in a mood after you listen to one album. You're like, well, this isn't like the other. I kind of want to hear this genre of music.
You can definitely feel when he enters his cocaine stage. You go from, okay, we're out there now. Lots going on here. Then he comes out of it. You're like, oh, he's healthy again. But it's not to say the stuff during that heavily influenced era isn't good. It's just very different.
You're not saying, oh, that was a sweet song. That was very good. You're like, oh, that was complicated.
You going to watch the basketball tonight? Going to watch little St. Peter's Purdue?
Ooh, no.
Nope. I feel like that's where the magic ends, right? That's where it's all fun and games till we get to that
Wake me up for Purdue's next game. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I feel the same way.
To footnote really quickly, North Carolina and Duke would meet in the Final Four, not for the championship.
Unfortunate.
So, yeah.
By the way, I like Miami to beat Iowa State. I like North Carolina to beat UCLA. We already had Duke win last night. This is the ACC tournament, baby.
Yeah, take down Mick Cronin. Anybody who plays Mick Cronin is my friend.
It'll be interesting to watch. Carolina, you never know what you're going to get with them. They're weird. When they play really well, they're very, very, very good. And I think it was last week when that number popped, I jumped on it quickly. I took Carolina plus 2.5, and it's gone between 2 and 2.5. It's kind of stayed there. I'm all right. I like that. It's value. The tournament has shown time and again, though, that they're so wildly unpredictable, these tournaments, and that's what everybody loves most about it, I suppose. But
what are you more excited to watch? Because you are a unique watcher of sports. The remainder of the weekend of March Madness, or tomorrow's round of 16 and round of 8 at the match play, which is usually the best day of the week.
It is the best day of the week, but I don't like the match play. By the way, the course in Austin looks fun to play. I wish I could play it. Yeah, I'd like to play it.
It's way better than the one they had in Arizona years ago.
Probably the basketball.
Basketball.
Yeah, probably the basketball. I don't. The match play's been all right. I've tuned in. I've watched some. I mean, listen, you know me. There are wagering opportunities that abound around every turn when it comes to the PGA Tour. And it's primarily how I've just brutalized Prize Picks. But speaking of Prize Picks, don't forget promo code Warchant.
Oh, there you go.
There you go, everybody.
Somebody wants a renewal.
Oh, hey, listen, I like Prize Picks. You know, it's not legal in Montana.
Oh, really?
I tried to bet out in Montana
And
with
they
my
said,
prize.
"Screw
They
you,
told me
Cameron."
no, and they screwed me several times over. I was like, all right, well, I'll just go bet on DraftKings, and they screwed me there too.
So Montana's not having it with the
there's
gambling.
but there's casinos everywhere.
Oh, okay.
I mean, every gas station there's a casino. You can bet all you want, but
Like sports book?
no casino.
Oh.
You can play poker and blackjack and all that stuff, but no.
Video poker, video blackjack.
A lot of video poker, a lot of video
That'd be
blackjack. But there's a
amazing.
big ass casino there. So you go. There's this. When you're cutting through, when you come out of Idaho and you're driving into where I was going in Montana, there's this place. I think it's called. And there's somebody who's surely been there who's listening to this, and it's Sturgis is what I think it's called. And you cut over. It's just this quaint little town. It's just like this buffer town. But man, there's gambling every which way to Sunday in there. I'm like, these people here, it's like being heavily caffeinated. They get their gamble on.
How sweet would it be that if you just go to a gas station in Montana
You can
and you
sit
walk
down and
in
play poker, yeah.
and there's like a dude just at a table ready to deal?
It feels like it should be.
What do you want to play?
Yeah. Oh, yes. Okay, I'm in. Good times. No, I liked it. It was a lot of fun.
And he's got a revolver on the table.
It's Tombstone all over again.
Yeah, well,
yeah.
Montana never grew up.
Yeah.
Can't trust you.
It's out there. There's it's pretty wide open, to say the least, both in expanse and the way the folks live their lives. There is an old bar there called the Beer Stube, and I spent a lot of time there in the evenings after a good long day of skiing. They had great food. In addition,
Oh, yes.
no,
yeah.
they do. They have great food.
Read it for the articles.
But
yeah.
and then, but in addition, hey, listen, they did have good articles in Playboy. So the point is, for years they did. But the point is, the Beer Stube's got good food, but they also, of course, have a lot of the aforementioned beer, and the feel of the place is old timey.
Did you have Montana beer? Was there local?
Oh, there were plenty of local beers. Yeah. Actually, the refreshing Montana beers. Oh, there's a really good stout, Cow in a Coal Mine.
That's cool.
Yeah, really cool. Cow in a Coal Mine's delicious. I would strongly suggest you order it, find it, get it shipped to your house. It's delicious. I had several of them, but they also had a really good, refreshing from the mountains, Tom, Coors Light-esque type beer from Montana. Yeah.
So it's like anything else. You go to Ireland and you have a Guinness. It's just a different experience. I have had a Coors original banquet beer and light in the Rockies. And you know what? It's true. The closer you are to where it comes from, the better it tastes. So I'm sure that Montana stuff was fresh.
It was really fresh. It was really good. And if you were trying to keep it together because you're skiing all day, which I was, you can't be getting, bogged down and or blitzed because you're drinking a 12. So you gotta take it easy.
I like how, in case you didn't know what bogged down means, blitzed, just in case.
Yeah. By the way, Ryan writes in the chat, need a home and home with Texas. Yeah, I love it.
That'd be fun. I know a lot of spots to go to. The problem is Austin is turning into Santa Clara, Silicon
massive,
Valley.
Yeah,
it's
being ruined.
Everything's being priced out. Yeah. So it needs to be soon. Maybe
I would love to go. I'd love to go.
The scheduling alliance cancels with the SEC or something. Maybe that opens the door.
I've been a big advocate for us to pick different spots throughout the country every year. I say, look, it's cool that we're playing LSU in New Orleans. I guess I'd rather it be in Baton Rouge. I know a lot of people disagree with me on that, but I'm big with the traditions of college football and the pageantry and all the things that go with the other schools' tailgating experiences. And I'd love to play Wisconsin up in Madison. I'd love to play Oregon out there. I'd love to go play, Washington, the Huskies in Seattle. It'd be great. I'd love to play Texas in Austin. I'd like to play our home and home like we did with Oklahoma, which was great. And I went out to Norman and had a blast. And that game here obviously was a lot of fun. The energy was fantastic. We've obviously done Notre Dame several times. Whenever we do this, I always think Penn State as well. Wouldn't you want to go up to Happy Valley and play in a game? I mean, 100,000 plus.
Yeah, I think that would be on the list, but I don't know that it would be like a top.
Now it's out in the sticks. There's nothing there. I'm not saying it's like this great place to go.
Like
but
Madison is way, way higher on the list.
Well, yes, it's awesome. I mean, for that matter.
Oregon, Austin, Texas, all that. Yeah, you got to see USC. I didn't, especially now. Well, maybe not now. Wait a minute. They're too good. No.
You don't. Yeah, you don't want. Yeah,
that's changing.
The time has passed for us to play. That was fun. Those were great games.
Love to go to Arizona State. I hear there's a lot of awesome things around Arizona State.
Yeah, I've been there. It's listen, Tempe is fun.
Go play Herm Edwards in the desert.
I don't know that Herm's going to have that job for much longer. That situation. I think
we're under investigation.
Arizona State is the weirdest program to me. Of the Power 5 programs, I'm always of the mindset that Arizona State should just be better. They should be consistently better. It's a big school. There's money. They've got a modicum of tradition.
They care.
The
fans do, I mean.
Yeah. And, man, that campus is not unlike Florida State's campus. It's very special, Tom. Very special.
Go play Stanford.
Palo Alto,
do it.
I've been on Stanford's campus. I've been to the Sunken Diamond. I've walked that campus. Good friend of mine graduated from Stanford, and I love that place. Palo Alto is beautiful. A game there, it's okay.
Well, isn't it still sucks that we have to go to Orlando for the LSU return match?
Yes,
I hear you there.
Completely sucks.
But having been to Baton Rouge, and I really enjoy it, wish we could have gone back. It is mitigated by the fact that there is legal sports gambling in New Orleans.
You're damn right.
And so we could gamble there, and you're playing on the Sunday, so you can enjoy a day of gambling in New Orleans on Saturday. It's perfect. That's not bad. If you're gonna be stuck in a non-college town, at least give me the sports gambling to go along with it.
And you've never been to New Orleans, so I'm excited to share that experience with you. I will tell you, I have very strict and steadfast rules when it comes to going to New Orleans. I've been 4 or 5 times. You got to get out. You got to prepare to get out because it has tentacles and they're deadly. The House of the Rising Sun, you're going to see it. It's tough. You are exhausted after 48 hours in New Orleans.
Well, so we got to do Bourbon Street around lunch is what I heard. Like earlier in the day, get in, get out so I can see it, smell it apparently. Get a hurricane and then be done with it, right? Like that's the goal there is just to say I've been there.
Listen, I'll go with you for the full experience. We can go make it
I need to be like Wednesday or something.
Make it a time. Make it a day, buddy. It is fun. You just got to.
It can't be Friday. Like Wednesday or Thursday.
Yeah, I agree with you. Yeah. We'll go but you need to see it.
We'll do an old 3:00 show on the next day.
You need to see it in all of its glory. It's something. It's something to behold. Now, there's a lot I haven't been in a long time. I've not gone to New Orleans post Katrina, and it's not because I haven't wanted to. I just haven't.
17 years ago.
Is that right?
Yeah, Katrina was when I was a freshman in college. 2005.
Good God, has that much time gone by?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was in my early 30s.
Part of my origin story, how I got to Florida State, because Katrina, there were externalities where I was looking to transfer.
Man, I didn't even realize how much. Oh, the time. Tommy, the time. We should play UCLA out in L.A. I would like that.
Okay.
Yeah, let's do that.
Hey, you already walked into their basketball gym.
I did. I got to watch and practice. They were all kind of like, this dude just walked in. It's Jeff Cameron Show. We'll come back. Wrap it up momentarily on our Libations Friday.
It's time for the Sunblessed Gardens Spring Open House, featuring 10 acres of greenhouses to explore, plus local food trucks, craft vendors, and fun activities for the kids like our exciting plant-themed scavenger hunt with prizes. It's all happening Saturday from 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. and Sunday from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the Sunblessed Gardens in Crawfordville, only open to the public a few times a year. Come explore an endless sea of plants to view and purchase at amazing prices and fun for the whole family. It's the Sunblessed Gardens Spring Open House happening this weekend in Crawfordville. We'll see you there.
Refreshing and simple. 2 words you don't hear many people use to describe their experience going through the process of getting a home loan. That's what puts the Hamilton Home Loans experience in a category all their own. If you're buying or refinancing a home, Hamilton Home Loans will provide a personalized mortgage experience that is dedicated to making the process refreshingly simple. It all begins with an initial consultation with an experienced Hamilton Home Loans advisor to find out what your goals are in order to find the right mortgage to suit your specific needs. Then, your personal home loan advisor will take you through all the steps from application, underwriting, approval, and closing, all the way to the front steps of your new home. Once you've experienced the Hamilton Home Loan process, you can be a customer for life and never have to pay lender fees again.
For first responders, nurses, physician assistants, teachers, active and retired military, ask about the Hamilton for Heroes program. Personalized attention with your needs put first. Now that's refreshingly simple. Find out more at HamiltonHomeLoans.com. That's HamiltonHomeLoans.com.
Equal housing lender. NMLS number 200719.
Every great construction project, whether it's a new addition or renovation, starts with a plan. At T-Spark, we are excited when our clients contact us to assist with that plan. Through our team of architects, draftsmen, engineers, we can help you with your project's planning and design, potentially saving costs in the long run. Whether you have a residential or commercial project, we look forward to working with you. Call us today or visit us at tsparkconstruction.com. License number CGC 1525336.
This is Dr. James Ryan Finn from Finn Chiropractic. In today's world, people are just stressed out. That could be causing subluxation of your spine. These misaligned vertebrae put pressure on the nerves and they shut your body down and it stops it from healing. So if you or a loved one are suffering from a condition with pain in your muscles, your tendons, or your joints, reach out to us at finnchiro.com and take advantage of our new patient special offer. That's FENNCHIRO.com, because your chiropractor loves you and there's nothing you can do about it.
There's fun to be had every night at the Corner Pocket. Take home prizes on Trivia Tuesdays and Beer Bingo Thursdays. And kickstart your weekend with Martini Fridays. Plus, happy hour runs every weekday and game day specials every time the Noles take the field. Watch all the best games at the Corner Pocket's Vegas wall, featuring 560 inches of flat screen TV heaven.
Oh, really?
The best food, the best drinks, and the best place to watch all the games. Tallahassee loves the Corner Pocket.
The Jeff Cameron Show is a production of the Warchant.com Multimedia Network. Check out Warchant.com today for the latest news inside Florida State athletics. That's Warchant.com. Now, back to Jeff on Real Talk 93.3.
Restaurants there in New Orleans, great food. I love it. It's unlike any other city in America. It's truly unique. You can't say that about a lot of places, so it's great. I feel bad for the fine folks of New Orleans and Louisiana in general with the amount of damage that's been done over the years via hurricanes and the like.
Totally agree on all fronts there, but I don't like them because they became elitist really fast as a football fan base.
Well, for 2 seconds, they're back to being nothing now.
It's good.
Yeah.
One Super Bowl all that time with the best coach.
Oh,
in
you're
football.
talking about the Saints. I thought you were talking about LSU.
No, I'm talking about the Saints. They went from being the lovable losers to God's gift and holding themselves as though they're the Steelers or the Packers or something. It's like, yo, easy there.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to worry about them for a while. But back to this. Although I wish Jameis success, save for when he plays the Bucs. I think. Well, next week I got to tell a story. It is comedy born out of something very modern that happened to me today, and I couldn't help but think about it over and over again, just how modern this comedy would be if we had built this skit. But it happened to me. It was crazy.
More 21st century example of you thinking you were pulling up behind Millar, and
yes, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Yes. But it was very weird. And the poor guy on the other end of the phone call, who I thought was somebody else. I'll let you guys in on a secret. I thought I was talking to somebody else. He must have just been like, what in the hell is going on here? Because I eventually got frustrated to the point where I cursed at him. So he had to be like, what is going on here?
It reminds me of one of my favorite stories ever that I'll buckle over if the original person ever tells it again. But Johnny Mack is one of the animals of Section B, and he's the guy with the bleach blonde long hair.
Yeah.
And one of his friends saw him at Corner Pocket, the bleach blonde hair, sitting at the bar, figured he'd scare him. Came up behind him, slapped him on the back, and yelled, "What's up, beep?" Slapped him on the back. It was not Johnny Mack.
No.
It was a lady.
Oh,
lady turned around.
And he used the B.
Yeah.
Well, I told you that famous story that I was visiting a friend of mine in Gainesville, and my buddy Trey is this tall, slender man who's now a professor. And back when we were in our 20s, he had hair down the middle of his back. He was in a band. He was a guitarist. And he has a very distinct look. And I thought I saw him on the campus at the University of Florida while I was visiting my friend. I looked over because he lives in Gainesville. And I was like, there's Trey. And I got a running start as fast as I could and leapt in the air and slapped him on the ass. And it was a total stranger. It was a student that happened to look like Trey. And this skinny guy, I slapped in the ass as hard as I've ever hit another human being open-handed.
And you hit hard.
And he jumped into the air and looked at me and yelled, "What the?" And was startled. He was scared because he was like probably a $120. And
real life Grand Theft Auto.
Yeah. And I looked at him and I must have looked like I had seen a ghost. I went, "Oh my God, I am so sorry. I thought you were a friend of mine," which is also weird, by the way.
Right.
So you just beat the hell out of your friends?
Right.
Yeah. So anyhow, yeah.
I thought you were my friend. Like, that's creepy.
Yeah, it was awful, but it was the best to see the look on my other friend who knew that I thought that was Trey was buckled over. He was bent over laughing for a half an hour because he watched it like play out in slow motion. He's like, "Oh my God, he's going to hit him. He's going to hit him." Because he could see it wasn't Trey.
What this guy did was he snapped a photo so that he had proof that you could have been this person just like me. And
the woman that he did that
it's just the same hairstyle is what it is.
Exactly like a man, and here's proof.
No, it's the hair. That's all it is. It's the hair. It's exactly the same.
Oh, that's so good. North Florida Payroll Services, locally owned for nearly 15 years, offering payroll and HR services, including full online applicant onboarding and integration into payroll. Save your company money and headaches today. Head to northfloridapayroll.com. Fire it up.
It's time for, how you say, with the pitching, probables?
At some point, I got to tell you who's pitching. Nats, Cardinals, Cade Cavelli, and Drew Verhagen. Orioles, Rays, Chris Ellis, Josh Fleming. Twins, Pirates, Dylan Bundy, Bryce Wilson. Red Sox, Braves, Tanner Houck, Ian Anderson. Yanks, Phillies, Luis Severino, Kyle Gibson. Tigers, Blue Jays, Tariq Skubal, Hyunyin Ryu. Easier said than done, everybody. That's an A+, Jeff Cameron. Herman Marquez goes for the Rockies. Alec Mills for the Cubs. We got Guardians and Giants, Aaron Savelli and Anthony DeScalfini. Rangers, Royals, Dane Dunning, Carlos Hernandez. Brewers, A's, Freddie Peralta, Cole Irvin. Angels, D-backs, Jansen Junk. Great name. Luke Weaver, Florida State's own. Mets, Astros, Tyler McGill and Hunter Brown. Padres, Dodgers, Nick Martinez, Julio Urias. Dylan Cease going to go for the White Sox and Marco Gonzalez for the Mariners. And that is a look at those that shall reside on the bump. At this point, I will float a few fun ones for you here. Let's go Miami, Iowa State under 133. Let's take, okay. You can find, will a 1 seed win the national title? And I'm going to say no at $1.30. That's fine with me. At this point, there's one left. I'll take the field. Kansas, you're not going to win it all, damn it. You're not going to win it all, and you're the last man standing. Would you take St. Peter's plus 12.5 against Purdue? You think the miracle wills them to a close game? I don't know. I'm leaving it alone. I'm not touching Providence, Kansas either. I do think I like Miami on the money line, and I'll take the under 133 there. And I actually like North Carolina to continue to play well. So it's kind of where I'm at, my man. For T. Lizzie and Director Matthew, I'm Jeff. Thank you, guys. Have a great weekend. Florida State baseball against Duke. Yes, let's see. They haven't lost a weekend series yet. Knock on wood, it stays that way. We'll be back Monday. Talk about the scrimmage. Talk about that series. Talk about the Sweet 16 getting whittled down to the Final Four. All of that, good times and more. Be well, everybody. Have a great weekend.